What is going on, guys? Tempo Trades. We're going to be going over more setups. You guys seem to love these videos. We're going to keep them coming. Today we're going to be looking at all of our setups that we took pretty much in September. I'm going to be breaking them down and explaining why I took them. Once again, all of these setups were taken in the Discord. You can join it. It's completely free. You can trade with me and see how this shit works in real time. All right, first up, we have a little scalp for 30 points, right? I called out in the Discord here. We swept the 4-hour lower high, it looks like, and then we were looking for an IFVG setup. Here is that IFVG setup. If you would have entered on the close, again, you would have caught, it actually looks like more than 30 points, 30, 40-ish points, and then it went break even. So not the home run play that we're used to, but 30 points with one mini is $600. So, and then you copy trade that. That's nothing to sneeze at. But right here, you can obviously see liquidity sweep, reactions, momentum, IFVG, target opposing liquidity. It's the bread and butter. All right, here we go. Next trade for September 6th. This was an absolute banger day. Made over $10,000 with this trade alone. This looks to be a short targeting data lows. So this play in particular does not have a liquidity sweep. For me, that would make it lower probability. I like all of my amazing high conviction plays to have a major sweep, but this one right here is essentially seeing that we have data lows right here. We know that's a magnet. That's where price wants to go and take out. And we have an IFVG set up to ride towards that. So you can see up in this range, we have this little gap. Here is a fair value gap. Price bounced off of that into the inversion, and then you enter short once it closes under the inversion, and you're targeting obviously your high time frame draws on liquidity, and this one hit for 100 points, it looks like. So amazing setup right here. All right, here is the next setup on September 11th. This looks like a bread and butter, super nice setup here, super nice. So not only do you have the classic overnight low sweep, we came down and we took out London, but we're also targeting data highs on the reversal. This is a super strong setup with all the confluences here. Again, you download the ICT pivots and kill zones indicator. It's going to mark out your overnight Asia and London highs and lows for you. You wait for those areas to sweep, and you're going to get reversals a lot of the time because there's so much liquidity at those areas. I wait for it every single day. So right here, boom, wait for that bullish reversal, wait for the IFVG to set up, enter on a close over, and we target the, the high probability liquidity above. This one looks like a 70-point play. I actually got out early because if you look above here, price looks like it pumped even past my liquidity. So note to self in the future, we probably should have held a runner for this one. All right, next setup is on September 12th. Made about $8,000, it looks like, from this one. This one might be a lower probability setup again. So this is kind of like the previous play I showed you guys. Here's me calling out the play before it even happened. We did get a London sweep down there. We missed Asia down here. And then we're pretty much, again, targeting the data highs, and we're targeting overnight highs. This is sort of a delayed reaction, right? Because you see we swept London at 8:30 and we didn't take the trade until 10:10. So you can see that, most of the time you want an instant reaction. You want to sweep your high time frame liquidity. You want to get that reversal pattern we look for into the IFVG right away. That's going to have the highest win rate. But you can see here in this example, this is kind of a delayed reaction and it still ended up working. So that's just something to keep in mind. Again, IFVG candle close, went break even at the internal high, never came back to the internal high. It is protected. And then we trimmed at our major liquidity areas. Here is another data play. Again, this is a draw on liquidity. Actually, we did sweep the data high, so not really a draw on liquidity. We got Mask over here taking the same exact trade. Absolutely love to see that. But right here, data high at 10 a.m. We wait for one end to sweep, and then we take an IFVG setup down to the other end. Boom, like clockwork, man. I mean, this is just beautiful to look back on and just see the executions and how this shit plays out. It's honestly insane. This one went for 70 points, and there literally was no drawdown almost. I mean, every single candle after I entered was red until it hit our objective. So here's a really interesting play. This is actually using ES to take an NQ trade. I do this often if NQ is lacking behind or something like that. But you can see on the right, ES came up and swept all-time highs, which obviously is major liquidity. That's going to be like a daily high or something like that, or even a weekly high. And once it swept that, I was looking for bearish reactions. We got that on both NQ and ES. NQ was a little bit cleaner with its gaps. I took that 30-second there, and we captured, it looks to be like 70, 80-ish points. And you could see ES dumped a lot more than NQ because NQ eventually retraced and took out my runners. I had the last TP down there at 0.005, but you know, we'll take 70 points. All right, so this is one of the best trades I've ever taken. This trade is the title of the video and made me $12,000 in one trade. It is also the longest trade of my entire career. I sat in this for 4 hours. So I actually had to go back on TradingView. Let's look at what happened here. So price came down from 930, came all the way down and swept London low from the previous day right here. You see that? It swept London low. And from that, we got our bullish reaction. You got an instant green candle off of the sweep through the IFVG. You would enter here and you would not exit unless a candle closed below the IFVG, right? I took a bunch of trims along the way, but my final trim was New York sessions high of day right here. And you can see that from entering at 11:18, it did not hit high of day until 3:40, about 20 minutes left for the market to close. So this was the craziest trade, one of the craziest trades I've ever taken in my life. And it just goes to show having conviction and holding to your liquidity areas are going to pay off. Yeah, so just holding one micro to this objective would make you about $320, which is nuts. All right, and here's the last trade in September I want to show you guys. This was the day I caught 2 100-point setups, which I don't think I've done before since. Very, very rare occasion, but you can see in the AM, we got an Asia sweep to the left, waited for an IFVG to form, formed at the bottom, caught a 100-point reversal, and then later on in the day at around 1:30, we got a similar setup. I don't really have it mapped out here, but this does look like an IFVG right there. If you see where my mouse is, entered at the bottom, a lot more chop and not a lot of volatility because it's PM session. And this one went 100 points as well. So again, the point of this video, guys, is stick to one pattern, master it. It will make you rich. I look for a high time frame sweep. I look for a good reaction to the sweep with a lot of momentum in the opposite direction. I look for an IFVG that's about 8 to 20 points big, the gap. I wait for a close, I enter, and then I target opposing liquidity. That's all you got to think about. Don't complicate it. Don't make trading harder than it has to be. And I hope this helped you guys. If you have any questions about any of the setups I took in September, let me know. In a week or two, I'll make the video for October. But peace out. It's been your boy Tempo. See you on the next one.